Anything interesting happened on your weekend?
Tennis tournament, as you know.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, it was a tennis tournament.
So, you went up for a tennis tournament?
For a very joking tennis tournament.
Oh, joking.
Yeah, it's not a serious one.
Okay.
So the Friday is gentlemen's and ladies singles.
Yeah.
Theme was Wimbledon whites, so wearing all whites. The Saturday was men's doubles and women's doubles. So me and the host of the weekend were wearing long boardies with flames on them and wrestling singlets that said tap out on them from an op shop. And then the Sunday was mixed doubles. So Jamie and I wore a unitard, and it was a bit too small for me, so my nipple was popping out, and then we got a netball skirt over the top. And it was not a good look. And I took the netball skirt off when I was getting serious and won a few points by distracting them with my bits.
How many people were on this trip?
About 40 in total.
40? What? Did you go with work or something?
Nah, so it's a guy I know from like the ski club at uni.
Yes.
And then he would do it with his friends every year.
Yeah.
And then his sister started bringing friends.
Yeah.
And then his two younger brothers decided to bring their friends this year.
Okay.
So it was just a big group, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Fucking hell.
Made it to some quarterfinals for the men's singles.
Yep.
So gentlemen's singles, I should say.
Gentlemen's singles.
And then semis for the gentlemen's doubles, and then quarters for mixed doubles.
What's your go-to for
I only have a forehand.
Serve and volley?
Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't like serving.
No.
Did get better, but I was definitely better returning people's serves.
Down the line,
as long as they weren't good at serving.
Down the line or wide? So
just get it back over the net.
Just get it back over. Okay.
Well, for my serve,
Yeah,
just get it in the fucking box. Hope for the best. But no matter where they hit it to me, I'm running so hard to get my forehand.
Oh, that's hard. It's hard to get onto your forehand than your backhand.
But Jesus, it's a nasty left when I get onto one.
Oh, you're a lefty. Yeah.
Lefty.
Yeah. Are you like rough as a lefty? Are you like you put a ton of topspin, or you just
mate just back over the net?
Just the ball doesn't even spit.
Just lob it over.
But he's sticking you and taking all your money.
Welcome to the Bronx Shear Basketball Show. I'm your host, Nathan Callanan. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host.
You looked at me at the wrong time then.
Did I?
Yeah.
There's some bit... I'm as tired... I'm not as tired as you are. Like, I can't imagine sleeping on the ground for...
a few nights.
for a few nights. But, you know, it takes a lot out of me running the Bronx. But anyway, I'm with my co-host, Jack Lynch, who's in his trusty green hoodie. Fittingly so, after a Celtics win. And
what a win it was.
For all our YouTube viewers, you'll see that I'm in the navy, the Sixers navy and the blue, and the red.
The navy and the blue.
How are you, mate?
Good. All things well.
Yeah, tired?
Bloody tired, but doesn't matter because Boston won.
That's it. It's let's get right into it. The NBA. So when we last spoke, no postseason has started. Is the play-ins postseason for you? Because the stats don't believe you if you say yes.
No. It's not regular season, but it's not playoffs. Like, are you telling me that Darius Garland's played a playoff game at the moment?
I don't know, actually. You're always so convincing. This is why I got you on.
This is why the fans love me.
Because I think I was like... I was going to say...
Who do you hate most in the NBA? Other than Westbrook.
I was going to say, Lakers.
The one player you always hate on, no matter what.
Oh, Trae Young.
Yeah. If he lost in the playing games, you'd be like, he's shit, didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. That was coming. No, I wanted him to make it in just so I can go on about how they're going to lose. Anyway, but the play-in started and stats or whatever, the Nets took care of business. There was no Jared Allen in that Cavs game. So easy done. I mean, it was only 7 points by the end of it.
Closer than it should have been.
Yes. Yeah, no, so that was the first one. Yeah, closer than it should have been. Good on the Cavs, but Jared Allen wasn't in that one.
And Garland didn't play particularly well either.
Yeah. And the Timberwolves hosted the Clippers.
The Clippers curse continues.
But did you see Pat Bev?
yeah.
Did you see all this?
This was... I kind of felt bad for...
What side
the
are you on?
I'm on the celebration side. Good on them.
Yeah.
This is the fucking Timberwolves. Like, if it was Sacramento, I would be loving it. I don't know why it's different for the Timberwolves. And yeah, yeah, the celebration's probably...
Sorry, audio people.
Celebration's probably slightly over the top. But who gives a fuck? They're in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I saw one tweet, and it was great. It was like, pre-draft, Anthony Edwards said, I don't give a fuck about basketball. It's a job for me.
Oh.
And do you remember
No,
that?
I
It's
don't
like,
know.
should they take him number one? He wants to be a footballer. Basketball is just a hobby, blah, blah, blah. And they're always questioning his mentality. Goes out and wins, shows some emotion. Same with Pat Bev. And like, nah, I shouldn't care this much.
Yeah.
Good on them. They won a fucking game of basketball to put him into playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. Nah, it was really good.
It was
and-
it was funny.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
But don't hate on it, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's the Timberwolves, as you said. I think it was maybe always going to come. And at the end of the day, that's who Pat Bev is.
Yeah.
It sent the Timberwolves to
The
fucking
second
7th.
playing game.
No, 7th, and Clippers to the second playing game.
Oh, so yeah.
Yep.
Clippers.
And then the next day we had the Hornets away to the Hawks, and the Hawks, whoa, they destroyed them that game. Trae Young, your boy, he does his stuff. The Pelicans beat the Spurs. That was sad for Pop, I thought.
It was.
Yeah, but what's their coach's name?
Willie Green.
Willie Green, man. And I hate that he looks like Doc Rivers. He looks like a non-bald Doc
on
Rivers.
coaches, I've got a good one, especially because we're talking about the Wolves. Chris Finch is currently tied for second all-time among Timberwolves head coaches in the playoffs.
I saw this.
With one win.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But yeah, so the Pelicans won that. That was fun, that game. So then we had the do or die for the 8th seed, Hawks against Cavs, and the Hawks were going to lose, and then Jared Allen played.
Yeah.
The Hawks were going to lose, and then
Guess who?
guess who?
What did he have that game?
He had 38 points and
11 assists.
He was 4 of 11 from 3. I'll give you that. He's 38 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. How many turnovers? 4 turnovers, and he was a +4.
Take that.
Take that.
Not a winning player though.
And the Clippers and the Pelicans. See, we were both had all these right, but then this is where we differed. You predicted the Pelicans would beat the Clippers in this game, and I predicted the Clippers would beat the Pelicans. Paul George had COVID. So
I predicted that.
so it doesn't count. And I don't know if you saw during the game, but Pelicans only won by 4.
Yeah.
Clippers were going to win.
Up by 10 at 3/4 time.
Yeah, Clippers were going to win, and then they shut the bed. So good on the Pelicans. So
A Willie Green masterclass.
that's it. No, it's exciting. There's a bit of a, may I say, there's a bit of a jazz down in New Orleans. There's something about it. I really want Zion to come back.
He's not coming back.
Did they confirm it?
Yeah, it's already been confirmed.
I don't know.
Did you see as well? There was a report that came out, and it said Zion and the Pelicans are on different terms about whether he's ready to play or not.
Oh.
And everyone kind of assumed it was Zion wanting to play and the Pelicans saying no.
Oh.
But then people were like, wait, maybe not. Maybe they're just like, what's the point, A? But also like, until you drop another 40 pounds, whatever they need, he's just going to injure this bone in his foot all over again.
Yeah. Okay, so confirmed?
I'm 99% sure it was confirmed that he's out for the year. I
Okay.
thought David Griffin said that recently.
Well, you can, if you want to, fact check that for now. But then, so that left us with our playoff matchups. Then we had the first day of the 2022 NBA playoffs. We had what was the first game of the day? I think it was Jazz Mavs.
Yeah.
Jazz Mavs on that Saturday. It was like real early time. And the Jazz went to Dallas, no Luka, and they took care of business. You got the info?
Not yet.
Not yet. The Jazz took care of business against the Mavs 99-93.
Against the Maz.
The Mavs, did I say?
Yeah.
The Jazz against the Mavs.
You're having a shocker today.
I am. as expected, we both said it's going to be 2-0 either way, depending on the whether Luka plays or not, and we'll get to how we're wrong soon. The Sixers. Whoa, first game. You might say to me, JL, Joel didn't have an awesome game, or his usual MVP type game. He only had 19 points.
Didn't need to.
5 from 15 from the field. But you know what? Tyrese, most improved Maxi, dropped 38 points, 5 from 8 from 3, 14 to 21 from the field.
Fuck is that?
He is unbelievable. A plus 20. James Harden had 22 and 14 assists.
So you've been very skeptical on the Harden thing so far.
Ooh.
But I still think it's working.
We'll get to the next Sixers game, and then I'll talk about us. You know, the Sixers podcast. The Timberwolves beat the Grizzlies. This is probably the main talking point of this fucking day.
What did I say as well?
What did you say?
I said they're going to split the games.
Did you?
Because I said teams that have barely played in the playoffs before. Obviously, the Grizzlies played 4 or 5 games last year. I think they won a game off Zion's back. Off Jar's back. What's going on between the two of us today? I was just blaming you, but no, it's both of us. I think Jar won them a game last year off memory. I reckon they went down 4-1 to Utah maybe last year.
Yeah.
And then the Timberwolves obviously never playing, this team's never played a playoff game really except for Cat. And I said, teams that are with this little experience, anything can happen.
Yep.
And I said they're going to split these games because they're going to be a game where one team gets hot and the other team shoots like 38% from the field.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
Yep. The Steven Adams didn't register a shot. 0 from 0.
Doesn't need one.
From the field. Anyway, but yeah, the Timberwolves quite comfortably beat the Grizzlies in the end. Anthony
put up how many?
36 and 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 of 11, but 36.
Cat redeemed himself.
Cat played 43 minutes, 29 points after fouling out in that do or die.
Did you hear his quote about
Tibbs?
Yeah,
Tibbs. Last time I played 43 minutes, Tibbs was playing. Anyway, but it wasn't like a world-beating performance. Malik Beasley had a nice performance off the bench. So did McDaniels. But it wasn't a world-beating performance from like Cat or Ant. Like as much as the 36 points were
they're
there.
just a decent team. That's the thing. I think, partly because they're in Minnesota and they don't get any national television recognition, but they're better than people realise, and they haven't been that healthy all year either. They've finally got everyone in. Pat Bev's doing Pat Bev things. D'Angelo Russell's found his groove for the year. Started off really poorly. They're a decent team.
Yep. And so for our predictions last week for games 1 and 2, the Nuggets and the Warriors, you said 2-0 Nuggets. I said they'll split them 1-1. We're here. This is the first game that we're just looking at, but we're here and the Warriors have gone 2-0, proving us both wrong. They don't have a name for the starting 5 yet, a nickname. The Firepower 5 is what the Warriors commentator spat out today. But Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Andrew Wiggins.
All-star starter Andrew Wiggins.
I'm thinking, who the fuck's the other guy? And Andrew Wiggins. These games were identical, game 1 and game 2. It was Denver jumped out to a lead, and then to finish the second quarter, the Firepower 5 took over.
I hate third quarter Warriors.
Third quarter Warriors exploded in both games. Game was pretty much over in both games from there. And we have a 2-0 lead, and it really looks like, oh man, the Nuggets have no players other than Jokic. Because that's what the Warriors are doing to them. And I'm starting to develop a bit of are the Warriors actually...
I think the Warriors are as good as we thought they were. I'm not overreacting to this, but I think this highlights why Jokic is going to win MVP for what he's done with a team with no players. Get to the playoffs, I expected them to step up a little bit, and we've seen so far that they haven't at all. And it just shows how, if you've got one player that can dominate a game, how easy it is to defend that one player if you're not worried about anyone else. Yeah. Aaron Gordon was throwing bricks today. Draymond is having the time of his life knowing he's got so much help defense behind him. I still don't think this is... we see people love to react to the first 2 playoff games especially they've both been on the Warriors' home court. The whistle's been heavily in favour of the Warriors so far, which has led to 2 ejections, one for Boogie, one for Jokic. Wouldn't surprise me they take Game 3 in Denver.
Yeah.
The Nuggets, that is, because the tide often does change. And how often do we see series where it's a blowout the first 2 games and then the next 2 games go back to the home team?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm scared of the 5, though.
They are lethal.
Like
they can all shoot and they all get so hot.
And this is remnants of... No, sorry. When I say remnants, this is like what they do. They have like a lineup. They always seem to do this lineup of like players that will do good jobs. Like, most teams, other than your number 1 seed teams, always have like 1 or 2 players in their best 5 that are,
Yeah.
But they seem to have this 5 that when it counts, they can
turn it on. Like a tap at the moment.
Yeah.
But I still think we've seen enough of them over the course of the season to know what they're most likely going to be like. They've got hot for 2 games so far. Don't let that sort of deter you from what they've been performing like all season long.
Steph Curry has been coming off the bench. That's insanity. But it's because of his injury that he's dealing with.
Missed the last month of the season.
Yeah, but I don't know, everything looks all right.
He's fine.
Who knows?
Unless this is like when 2016 against Portland where he came back and was like, I'm back. And then shot like shit in the rest of the playoffs.
But now they've got 2-day break, just as you guys went immediately into. Because you guys aren't playing tomorrow, are you?
I assumed you were. This is what I hate about playoffs, is that
No, you're not.
I don't check I always assume it's a 1 day off.
You guys aren't playing tomorrow, and we are playing 3 games with the 1-day break. What is this bullshit? Yeah, our break is Thursday, Friday, or whatever.
All about those television ratings.
Friday, Saturday. Anyway, so yeah, maybe Steph can use these couple of days to heal up even more. Who knows? But it's positive signs so far for the Warriors. And so getting on to that day 2 or day 3 of this is day 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Heat took care of business against the Hawks.
Talk to me. I know what you want to say.
Trae Young's shit.
1 of 12, was it?
What did I say? What?
Was he 1 of 12 from the field?
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't. Whoa.
Did you see the way that they were handling him?
Holy Lord, 8 points.
I've been waiting for this all week.
I actually haven't seen his stat line. Oh, here we go. Some live reactions. 6 turnovers. 1 of 12. Where's your boy? Were they doubling him, tripling him?
They were doing everything to him. There was a good video I saw, and it was like Kyle Lowry with the incredible box out on Trae Young.
Yeah.
And the ball goes up, and he turns around and just goes bang, pushes him straight in the face. No foul call. Like, I've never seen something so blatant.
Yeah.
And then there's one after the whistle. Trae's got the ball, it like sort of dribbles, falls onto the floor. Lowry dives into it, takes his ankles out. Some dirty tactics by the
Below
Heat
the knees.
Oh, just 100%. It's what they've always done. What they pride themselves on is Heat culture.
Yeah.
He'll bounce back. That won't surprise me.
He might not, because he's the only guy they have to go at.
But this is what Miami do. And especially with Trae is so good at getting the big man in the switch, and Bam can resist. He can hold his own. So, not expecting huge things from him, but he's still going to go off at some point.
Yeah.
He's too good of an offensive player to put up another performance like that.
Yep. Well, yeah, they'll take care of business, the Heat. The Celtics hosted the Nets, JL. What a game this was.
This was fucked.
Now, here's the thing. This just goes for everything, but I want to say this, and I've been saying this for a while. I hate the most charges. I hate them. I hate offensive charge.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that it looks so stupid when basically a player it's so unnatural. Like a player is driving and then they pass it out. Say, they kick it out and then
Is this the call on Smart?
Someone draws a charge. Yeah. There was a couple, I've actually forgotten them, but there was a couple.
There was one on Smart that they called a foul on him.
Yeah.
It was way after the pass.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he was well and truly there before Durant got there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like it's a no call or it's a charge.
But I've been wanting to say that for ages. I reckon it's one of the stupidest things in this game. Is offensive fouls should exist, but you shouldn't. And I'm not saying that Marcus Smart or anyone. I don't know. I think I just sort of brought this up because maybe there was a couple just in my mind from this game. But it's not directly against people who manipulate it or use it, like Marcus Smart. It's just not. Why is it part of the game?
I think if you get rid of the ball, if you drive and kick, and then you're just following through your motion,
that's it.
If someone jumps in your lane after you've gotten rid of it, that shouldn't be a block. It shouldn't be a charge.
That's right.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But there was a few that they called, and there was one against Smart that clearly by the rules was a charge. But they called a block, and it's like, just don't call those.
Yeah.
Or call them properly.
Yeah,
that's what I hate.
It should just not be a thing. And there was like maybe one or two where there was a landing. You know, I think Claxton landing. I can't remember. There's a few things today. Horford got up yesterday. Horford got up for a dunk.
He can play.
Danny Green got up for a dunk. Harden hasn't dunked in like a year or something like that. But anyway, what a game. Nets Celtics. Here's how I look at it. And this is not me going against you. The Nets only lost by 1 point in the TD Garden. I'm sorry, but that's a positive for them more than it is to you.
They lost with Kyrie's best game he's going to put up in the series.
What about KD's? What about flip the switch? KD does that.
And that's
Kyrie
the thing. That's why I think this game is the law of averages. There was nothing. Obviously, KD's first half was awful, but his second half was normal.
Yeah.
They had the Nets shot 53% from the field in total.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to do that again. It's like their role players stepped up. Kyrie was unbelievable. Still wearing his wrong colour socks. Now you've spotted it. How annoying is it?
Did you say it to me once?
Yeah.
Because I only now just spotted it. This game, I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is Kyrie wearing red socks? How can he be allowed?
He's not. I don't know why nothing happens to it.
And I tweeted, searched it, just see what people are saying about it. And then someone's like, how is he getting away with wearing red socks? Someone replied, because you can't tell Kyrie to not. And I'm like, oh, get out, man. So when I was looking through this Twitter, people tweeting about it 5 days ago. So he's been doing it.
Yeah, he's been doing it. He didn't play in games. Same as always.
He wears red socks.
It's weird.
I saw someone be like, again, looking at the tweets, someone's like, why is Kyrie wearing red socks? And then someone replied and they're like, for all the fallen people, you fucking bigot. For all the people who've died in fucking whatever.
Nah. Kyrie's an idiot.
Oh.
How is his antics towards the crowd?
Yes, let's go on.
And do you know what I love? I'm all for players being able to give the crowd the finger. Take the fine, whatever. That's part of the spirit of the game. You're going to give it, I'm going to give it back. But don't come into Boston saying, and he said multiple things about Boston the last few years.
Yeah.
But his most recent one was move on. It's been 3 years. If anything, you should have a video on the big screen for me celebrating my time in Boston.
He said that.
He said that 2 days before the playoff series started. And then he goes and does this. So he's the one that hasn't moved on.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot. This is exactly like one of the big things I wanted to talk about. So for anyone that didn't see it,
you started this off by talking about charges.
Kyrie was putting up, fingers. He was doing like, this
baby face.
and this and that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I'm sorry if I, if people feel attacked, but isn't it that the people who live their life and parade themselves as woke or as defiant, as in like they're so pronounced defiant. It's like, hey, look at me, I'm defiant. They're the ones who are most like self-conscious.
They get on the back foot straight away.
They're the one with the wandering eye, like looking around, being like, are you seeing that I'm defiant?
I've never met. Actually, no, I have met him. I was going to say I've never met him, but I have met him once.
Kyrie.
Got a photo with him, but I don't think there's any NBA player, except for maybe KD with his social media accounts, that gets more offended by anything else. Yet he talks all this stuff about, he preaches so much, but he's by far the most affected by a crowd in the NBA.
That's right. He goes, I don't care what you say about
Give me a video tribute. Move on.
So did you see the one when he's walking back in the locker room?
And suck my dick.
Yeah, and the fan goes, Kyrie, such an American
You
and such
suck.
a basic, primitive altercation or whatever. Kyrie, you suck. Suck my dick, bitch. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like you are so, as you said, affected by it. You are so conscious of it.
In his own head.
You know, you try and be like, as I said, I'm sorry, but the people who claim to be, I don't care, are actually the people that care the most. Doing all these things, doing all the fingers up and like cry baby. Mate, you are 100 millionaire. These people behind you, look, if you're
trying to piss you off.
If you want to get like that, they're trying to piss you off. They're just fans in a basketball. If you just talk about it like it's just basketball, like you say, like then be that guy. Or just in general, I don't know. For me, everyone's different. I get that everyone's different, but I don't understand how these guys. And he said in the press conference after, we're supposed to be, like
the mature ones. That
yeah,
take the higher
mature,
road,
not say anything, blah blah blah. You don't have to be that. But the thing is, what?
Okay, think about the good example is like Embiid, for example. Hasn't done this in a while.
Yeah.
But how many times has he revved the crowd up intentionally? Or even Trae Young recently when he was bowing in New York and things like that. He loves being the villain.
Yeah.
It's like Kyrie wants to be, but then complains about it after. And like even a few months ago, last time he played in Boston, how he said like we were the crazy ex-girlfriend, things like that.
Yeah,
And then the first time he came back to Boston, he brought sage to cleanse. Like, he does nothing but like tries to disrespect the franchise, and then he expects the fans to appreciate him with a video tribute.
Yeah,
the bloke has no idea.
But even like the Trae Young thing, like so you even see, I'm just so robotic the way I look at these things. The Trae Young thing, and partly why I dislike him, but I know you're trying to like talk about how that's in a positive way. But even that, for me, the whole Trae Young does the bow. That's such a villain move. Blah blah blah. The most, and this is why Kawhi Leonard's one of my favorite players.
Does nothing. No emotion.
The biggest statement you can make is to kill on the game in the game, and then not even move a muscle in your face. You don't care about. You can't hear anyone. They're not there.
I agree, but if you're going to show emotion, there's nothing better than being smug. And Trae Young's done that in New York, and he did that in Cleveland the other day.
That's right.
Like Reggie Miller in New York doing the choke thing and like talking shit to Spike Lee, and like that's so memorable and it's historic now. I love that sort of stuff. So I'm not trying to say like Kyrie can't do this shit. It's just if you're going to do it, back it up. Don't complain about it or say the crowd's being rude.
Yeah, man, that was
just back it up.
For me, like that is just so. It's funny because if you at home, anyone is for 1 second fooled into thinking that Kyrie basically is this like revolutionary figure and his way of thinking is, like, that's how you handle all the noise in sports. He cares.
He gets frazzled. He played bloody well, though.
You remember that live that did you ever see that live he went on with KD and they're literally just talking over a live thing and he's sitting with paintings all around him? But of course, that now gives me a picture in my head. I just imagine Kyrie Irving going home, sitting in his paintings and be like, getting a painting or something. I don't care about this. I'm going to show them I don't care about this. Like me, man.
Nah, he's an idiot. But he played bloody well.
He played. So getting on to him playing,
fantastic on the
amazing.
Court, but Boston were better on the day. What a game though.
Yeah.
Tatum was fantastic early on. Shat the bed in the fourth. Didn't do anything until the last second. Played great defense though. That was one thing. Jaylen Brown was inconsistent, but his last 5 minutes kept Boston alive. Al Horford turned back the clock. Nick Claxton needs to work on his free throws. Boston's going to go out with Hacker Clax.
Yeah. I didn't know why they didn't. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if they do going forward. But there's a lot of people, and we've known this all season, but there's a lot of holes in Brooklyn's team. And I think as the series goes on, Boston's just going to learn to exploit them more. Because we didn't really look to exploit anyone. Except, honestly, the only person we did try and exploit was KD. Yeah. Tatum went after him because KD cannot defend anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a bit more... Yeah, I don't know. See, I think, we're about to do our brackets. But I'm a bit more...
You're leaning towards the Nets more than I am.
Leaning towards the Nets.
And I still think that
And
they're
I think
talented
today-
enough.
today
KD
was
and
a good
Kyrie
summary.
are so good that they'll win games off their own bat. That's inevitable. But I can't see them doing it 4 times with Patty Mills playing 30 minutes.
Yeah. I know what you're saying there. And I've got to be honest, you have no faith whatsoever, but I believe in the Ben coming back part. You know,
But
like
even if he
so
does,
it's been reported.
He's not playing 32 minutes. He's
I
not playing
know,
30
but
he's
even just
18.
that presence. Let's go to the end of the game. The presence at the end of the game to have someone to chuck on Tatum. They just don't have that right now. Well, that game that we just saw in the TD Garden, I say again, it was just their offense, and this is what Brooklyn are going to be anyway. But it's their offense against how good you guys were overall, and mainly defensively. If they just get one of the defensive player of the year candidates from last year to chuck on Tatum or to chuck on whoever's hot or taking the shot.
Not seeing it.
So I don't know if we got to say it last week but it has been reported, who knows, that they're aiming, or Ben Simmons is aiming for game 4, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I heard 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
So they're home games.
Yeah.
But that was just Shams talking on a podcast. So nothing official really.
Yeah. Windhorse said it as well though, or maybe Windhorse said it on a podcast. Is maybe what you're.
I thought it was Shams, but who knows? But either way, there's been nothing from the Nets. Which why would they say anything at this point? They've got no reason.
And I also just want to mention Ben Simmons while we're sort of bagging the Nets. Did you see what he was wearing? Like, I mean, we've talked about the bench fits before, but he's wearing like glasses, like sunglasses, whatever you want to call them, yellow sunglasses. This is a building that is fucking terrorized.
There's only 2 types of people that wear sunnies indoor: blind people and wankers.
This building has fucking terrorized you in the playoffs before, and you got the audacity to sit there on the bench, having picked up an injury from not playing. Did you see Stephen A?
What did he say?
He's like, how the fuck did you pick up an injury? What were you doing?
Young socialite.
What were you doing?
He's got a shag his back.
Oh, man. Anyway, when I saw those yellow glasses, I'm like, you got to be kidding. This is the place that fucking ruined you one year. Anyway, that's the Nets Celtics. We'll get to a second in our playoff predictions, what we think of the rest of it. Bulls Bucks first game. Unfortunately, it ended in a Bucks win because I don't know if it's going to get any easier from there for the Bulls. But the Bulls
They had a chance.
went on like a 13-0 run and actually made it a game. Went up by 5 at one stage or something like that. DeMar DeRozan, some scary words because I've heard these words before. He said after the game, "No way I go 6 of 25." You've heard those words before. He had 18 points.
Where have I heard them before? Kyrie, Andrew Irving. And then what did he do the next 3 games?
Yeah.
Shot worse.
No way I'm going 6 of
Mate,
25.
DeMar DeRozan, he is... I mean, it's a long time since we've seen him in the playoffs from Toronto. Oh, sorry, with Toronto. But if history means anything, it's not going to be pretty for DeMar.
Yeah.
Defense is tightened up. If you don't have a 3 ball, it's so easy to defend the mid-range if you actually prepare for it.
Yeah, if you prepare for it, yeah. And what can we say about the Pelicans Suns? Should we maybe, Pelicans Suns. Suns took care of business.
Good experience with the Pels.
CP3 had 30 and 10, 4 threes.
You see, in the regular season with the Suns, he's had 2 30-point games. In the playoffs with the Suns, he's had 4.
Classic. All right, and then today we got into 3 playoff games. Game 2 of the Sixers took care of business again. We're up by like 24-25 at one stage.
Like, not only are you better than Toronto, but they have no bigs.
Yeah.
So it's like your best player is Joel Embiid.
And they pissed Joel off at the start of the game today, and he was like
12 free throws in the first quarter,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had say even like back when they had Valanciunas, that'd be more competitive because they're not that bad of a team.
Yeah.
But when your biggest weakness is the other team's biggest strength, the Sixers are going to capitalize on that easily.
The Mavs behind on the
Jalen Brunson,
Maxi Kleber being left open all game. Man,
3s.
I was watching that game. I'm like, oh No. The Jazz, not the Jazz. The Jazz. That I don't care what happens the rest of this series. I'm gonna look
Jazz are
silly. They can't lose when there's no Luka. Like credits to the Mavs.
They can. That's how bad they are on defense. I saw a tweet and it was like, here's Gobert's man scoring 3 possessions in a row. And all 3 possessions, Donovan just lets his man waltz by. And Gobert has to try and defend 2 people.
Yeah.
Picks the right option by percentages.
Yeah.
And Cleveland hit a 3.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bag Gobert on. I'm like, how do people keep falling for this? He's playing. He's still the best defensive player in the NBA. We know he is. Except for maybe one other person who just one defensive player there. But when he's playing with arguably the 4 worst defensive starters in the league, he doesn't really have much.
Yep. So the Jazz lost game 2 to the Mavs. Still no Luka, and that's concerning. Now let's get on to predicting the rest of the playoffs. And before we keep going, let me mention congratulations to Marcus Smart on winning Defensive Player of the Year.
How nice was the celebration with Gary Payton?
The Gary Payton,
Yeah.
very nice. And I just want to pat myself on the back because I predicted that he would win. And I thought he deserved it. So
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because this is one of the closest races we've had in a while. And injuries and team records have played a part. But part of me is like, this is a long-term coming award.
it's
like,
got a lot
he-
to do with the
he's-
Celtics.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely helps that Rob Williams got injured because
that's
that
right.
meant that no votes were split. Like, everything sort of went his way. Plus the narrative of no guards won in a long time. It's a guard-friendly league.
Yeah.
And I think everything went right.
There's a lot of things that went his way. Rudy voted fatigue, and he missed a few games. Like
he
I
was
think.
left off like 20-something ballots.
Oh, was he?
Just ridiculous.
Voter fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to him. Before we continue, if you're new to the show, hit that.
How do you decide when to put this in?
I should do it at the start, but I always forget. If you're new to the show, hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Let's get into it, JL. You choose East or West. Where do you want to
Always
start?
start with the East because fuck the
Let's
West.
start with the East. Okay. Miami hosting Atlanta. Let's just try and drown out. Oh, well, no, can't drown out the already results because that's going to, of course, influence us. I have got Miami winning this one in 5. I reckon Atlanta will grind out one game.
I reckon 5.5. There'll be. I'm leaning more towards 5, but it's a good chance it goes to 6.
Okay. Yep.
And I think that's going to be like classic Miami fashion. Like when they made the finals in the bubble, they won most of the game on their series in like 6 or 7. It's just what they do. They love close games. They love grinding out wins at the end, but that means they lose a few in there. Just if Miami go like all the way, for example, they'd by far play the most games. They don't really sweep opponents in my mind.
Yep. Okay. Philadelphia, Toronto. Philly are 2-0 up.
4-0.
4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Toronto's got nothing
This is how it's going to go. Philly.
unless Kawhi comes back.
No, he's still injured.
Vince Carter.
I reckon Toronto are going to get game 3. Philly are going to get game 4. And then
Close out at home.
the scare is going to be game 3. Or the back to earth type thing. Or they're going to be brought back to earth game 4. Close
Who's
it out.
beating you?
What do you mean? In there,
Who from Toronto is going to win a game?
the thing is that
If Freddie Van Vliet could go off, I guess.
First
but-
off, they've got a smarter coach. Second off, they're actually one of our bogey teams. And it's actually been more surprising than anything that they haven't done their usual... Even though they've got no centers, they've...
Scotty Barnes started at centre.
I feel like these guys...
This isn't Magic Johnson starting at centre in the 1983 NBA Finals.
You'd be proud of me. I saw this TikTok and there's this coach. He makes his players do like, suicides or whatever.
1982 NBA.
What do you call them?
Suicides, yeah.
Suicides. And he's got them jogging on the spot and he asks them, who's the only NBA player to start a playoff game all 5 positions? Something like that. That's what the question was, something like that. And I knew the answer.
The Madge?
Yeah, it's Magic. I'm like, oh, Magic Johnson.
That old thing, this is one of my pet hates. The fact that people say he started at centre that game. He took the jump ball because Kareem was out.
Yeah. But
And then played the exact same role he always did.
okay.
Have you been watching Winning Time?
Winning time.
It's a new doco. No, it's not a doco. It's like a mini series about the Lakers in the 80s.
I will get to it eventually.
It's very,
but
very entertaining.
you know how much I don't like. You're watching something, are you?
Yeah, who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
It's 1 hour a week.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't been watching it. So you got Philly in 4.
Yeah.
I've got 4-1. What I was going to say was the Toronto bodies, even though they haven't done it yet, they normally are just the right height to annoy Embiid. Is the perfect description. They get right at his sort of their heads or their arms are right at his eye level type thing. They're not in front of him. They're just sort of, I don't know, like a fence that's annoying around him. But they haven't done it so far. So Philly 4-1 for me. Milwaukee 4-0 to Chicago.
4-0.
They're going to sweep.
Chicago had one chance and they blew it.
Yep. Boston, Brooklyn. What have you got?
Do you know what I said to you before? Celtics in 4. Nah, I think it'll be Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6.
Yep.
I've got the Nets in 7.
Well, you're wrong.
The Nets in 7, and I that's with Ben coming back.
If he doesn't?
If he doesn't, the Nets in 7. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. Philly, Miami.
Miami in 7.
Okay.
I'm torn on that one.
They're another one of our bogeys. It's apart from we definitely choose this side rather than the Milwaukee, Brooklyn side,
Yeah,
Boston side. But Toronto and Miami are two of our, for the same reasons, two of our bogey sides. Both got coaches way smarter than ours. Sixers in 6.
It's going to be close regardless.
Yeah.
I'm
actually sort of, I don't know. I just think Miami have to, for some reason, and I know I'm not alone in this, Miami have to sort of show us what
they're very disrespected for a 1 seed.
Yeah.
That had more injuries than any other team in the league as well.
Normally, normally this 1 seed that they are fails, and then we're like, okay, that's what they were. I think everyone is looking at them, and me too, to be honest. It's because they don't have like a superstar. They don't have a shining light or 2 superstars.
They're so well-rounded, which historically hasn't been a recipe for success in the playoffs.
I think everyone is predicting before the failure that they're going to be one of those classic 1 seeds that doesn't have the star that falls. And I'm part of that crowd. I think that Philly will win it in 6. I think it's just been too many second-round failures for Philly. And we are playing... So to talk about us, and you talking about the Harden failure, if Doc is actually not going to play DeAndre Jordan or Paul Millsap as a backup to Joel, then we can actually... Because he's been playing Paul Reed, B-ball Paul. Mm-hmm. He's actually goddamn defensively playable. DeAndre Jordan is halfway dead. So is Paul Millsap. So he's been playing Paul Reed. Tobias Harris has been attempting, it's not about making them, has been attempting more threes and making them.
Stretching the floor.
It's actually amazing.
Who would have thought giving them space would work?
The Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle position is our ear, but it sort of has been going all right. Harden can't really drive past anyone, but he's averaging he's got to be nearing 13, 14 assists per game in his last stretch. We've worked out this system where Harden is truly the point guard facilitator. He's just got to get 15 minimum a night some way. Embiid is Embiid, but attention in the paint. Maxey can shoot and can slash. Tobias...
He just needs to defend and just... He reminds me... What he needs to be is Harrison Barnes on the 2015 Warriors team. Yep. Just hit your shots.
Tobias just needs to shoot threes. That was the biggest problem. He just wasn't shooting enough threes. I don't know how he can just be like, yep, now I'm going to shoot more threes. After all these fucking 3 years. For 3 years, it's like, Tobias, shoot more than 2 threes a game. Now he's fucking shooting 4 or 5 threes a game. And he makes them. He fucking makes them. Tobias Harris is now, for at this moment, taking himself off the trading block for Brad Beal in the offseason. How fucked is that?
For now.
How fucked for now?
He's still going to be a scapegoat straight away.
So if all this keeps clicking and Doc Rivers doesn't make any stupid decisions, I've actually got us... We're playing well. We're playing nearly as good as we can. It's sad that Harden is in his 25 points per game plus 15 assists. You know, we're only getting one of those things. But the Sixers, as of right now, are looking the best they sort of can look, and it's amazing. So for me, the Sixers in 6. I've got Brooklyn in this other Eastern Conference semi. You've got Boston. So what do you got? Boston, Milwaukee.
I don't want to say it for the meme, but probably Bucks in 6.
Okay.
Every bit of data at the moment suggests that Boston's a better team right now. But Giannis is fucking terrifying in the playoffs. And I think their depth as well, especially with Brook Lopez back. I feel like they're finally hit their stride right at the right time. And to me, they're the team to beat in the East at the moment.
Yep. Well, so I've got Brooklyn, Milwaukee.
Bucks in 6?
No.
Really?
You know, you've got
Bruce
to,
Brown is not going to beat.
You've got to
this
have been
Brooklyn's-
able to
this
tell
Milwaukee
this
team.
whole year it's hard when I believe in something for me to give it up. Yeah.
Ben and Joel will work.
What is different from this Brooklyn? Let's just say Ben comes in, and by round 2, if they're there, Ben's some sort of.
If he's coming back, he's playing 12 minutes a night, 18 minutes a night.
No, you don't understand. He's going to be who's that? I'm not saying he's a mini Draymond Green, but he's just going to be Draymond Green for KD and Kyrie. KD and Kyrie, Draymond Green.
Do you know how bad their offense is already? And that's what's surrounding them with surrounding.
What do you
KD and
mean
Kyrie
their
with
offense is
shooters.
bad? It's all they've got.
Exactly, and that's the problem. That's all they've got, and it's so easy to defend. The last possession, we doubled Kyrie,
Nah.
forced it out of his hands. You need shooters around those two.
You do, but
Ben Simmons, if their offense wasn't already bad enough, now we've got a guaranteed double every single possession. And that's playing them with
he's
shooters.
just going to be in the dunker spot in those moments, or he'll be off.
Anytime Nick Claxton came onto their floor, their offense was fucked.
And I think it won't even have to get down to that. And they got KD, man. No. You're trying to. You're getting into my head, but I'm then remembering KD and Kyrie, man. It's just
They're not even going to get through the first round.
playoff
They
is
barely
about.
got through the play-in game.
I'm very intrigued. Last year, what's so different from last year to this year of Brooklyn against Milwaukee or Brooklyn? You know what I'm saying?
Their team is just useless. Like, genuinely useless. If you take out their 2 best players,
But the problem
they
is
have
you can't.
no one.
You
Bruce
can't.
Brown is their 3rd best player.
I know, but unfortunately, KD and Kyrie are the best duo left in the playoffs.
And in the playoffs, when it's so easy to knuckle down on defense, I do not see them being able to beat a healthy Milwaukee team.
All right, that's all right. Anyway,
Let alone a healthy
I've
Boston
got
team.
the Nets in 6 for Milwaukee, Brooklyn.
Do you reckon Boston's going to put up more of a fight than Milwaukee?
I sometimes I just go with like what it's a bit of a gut feeling. I just feel like because it was such a slog last year, Bucks Nets. I feel like the Nets are going to win it in 6. It's going to be a bit like, oh fuck, Giannis is going to average 40 next year. Giannis every year is going to have a chip on his shoulder for some reason. It feels like he's going to always have some reason because something failed the year before, and it's fucked for all of us else. But I just feel like the Sixers have failed too many times in the second round, and with KD and Kyrie, one failure, one toe on the line is enough. Those 2 teams are going to meet in the conference finals just because of their past failures. It's time.
We'll see.
Anyway, and then the conference finals. So you've got Milwaukee and Miami. Pretty damn boring.
Mm-hmm. And that's Bucks in 5.
Yeah, that would be easy. I'd go Bucks in 6 for that. I've got Brooklyn and Philly, the 2 other teams. Brooklyn in 7.
It's nice that it's competitive at the moment.
Mm.
Brooklyn in 7.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
they would beat us. KD and Curry. You're not thinking about KD
You
and Curry.
watch too many Instagram videos of highlights.
No,
There's more to basketball than your stars.
no. They came to.
How did the
Philly.
star-studded Lakers do this year?
They came to Philly. They were injured the whole year. You know that. See, you like LeBron and AD. See, this would be a totally different thing if it was LeBron and AD with the Nets supporting cast. Lakers did not make the playoffs, not because of their personnel. It's because they were injured. And even I'll admit that. Even with Westbrook and trading all their actual players away,
We've said though as well that LeBron and AD are better duos than KD and Kyrie.
Oh,
because
you said that.
They complement each other better.
You said.
Didn't you have them as number one as well?
No, I had KD and
Fuck,
Kyrie.
mate. You are obsessed with these two. I can't
Anyway.
wait for them to lose in the first round.
All right, let's get to the West. Phoenix sweep, easy,
Oh, guaranteed.
guaranteed of the Pelicans. Sweep of the Pelicans. Well, today after 1-1 for Jazz Mavs, I'm feeling a bit weird because when is Luka coming back? Have you seen anything about that?
No.
No.
If Luka's back, the Jazz don't win another game. If he doesn't come back, they split the next two.
See, I made this last night, I think. I've got Jazz 4-2 because I thought that they would get the second one today. I'm going to stick to it. You know, I'm not going to...
Jazz 4-2.
Jazz 4-2.
I'm going to say Dallas in 7, and then it's going to be buying time. Luka comes back, and then they'll win what they need to win.
Yeah. If they're like basically still in it when Luka comes back, especially if they got a home game, it's hard to beat that. Warriors Nuggets. I have here before today's game 2 win. I have Warriors in 7.
I currently have Warriors in 6.
Okay.
I think they'll win the next... Denver will win the next 2.
Okay.
Or at least one of the... It'll go to 6.
Yep. All right. Memphis, Minnesota. I've got Memphis 4-2 in 6.
As do I.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll get another one Minnesota somewhere, but overall Memphis will take over. So for me, I've got Phoenix against Utah. I've got Phoenix 4-1. You've got Phoenix Mavs. You're
Phoenix.
assuming Luka is back.
If Luka's back, Phoenix 4-2.
Okay.
If not, Phoenix probably 4-0.
Anyway, both Phoenix. Golden State against Memphis for both of us in the other side of the Western Conference semis. I've got Memphis 4-2 Golden State.
I've got Golden State in 7.
Wow.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Okay.
close.
Yeah, again, you know, now I'm a bit scared because Warriors look good, but I don't know. I don't feel like this Memphis young team is your usual one. I reckon they're gonna really cut some gashes into some teams. Gash is a bit of a weird word, but
No, I think they are a very good team. So the Warriors, though.
yeah. So conference finals for me is Phoenix, Memphis. I've got Phoenix in 7.
Fuck. I've got Phoenix versus Golden State. Phoenix in 5.
Okay. Yep. So your finals are
A rematch.
The rematch, the Phoenix Suns, the rematch of the easy Dunnets last year. The Phoenix Suns against the Milwaukee Bucks. My finals is the Phoenix Suns against the Brooklyn Nets. You go first.
Nets in how many for you? 7 again? You're just going to keep pulling out Nets in 7?
Nets in 6. It's KD and Kyrie. I've seen Kawhi Leonard beat. Look, they weren't as good as they are now, but I've seen Kawhi Leonard beat Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, JJ Redick, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons.
So this is your love for Kawhi. You're just putting into KD now because it's like, I've got nothing
No,
else.
it's just that I didn't believe the whole you get the best.
Did you throw Ben Simmons' name in there like he's any good?
He was actually, that was our first viewing of Ben actually being a great defender. That's the funniest part. Ben was actually playing amazing one-on-one D on Kawhi that series, and he still was Michael
And then
Jordan.
stood in the dunker's spot on offense for 7 minutes of game 7 and did nothing.
On offense, is nothing. But anyway, that series made me totally change my mind on the rule of thumb. If you've got the best player in the series, if you've got the best 2 players in the series,
Which they don't.
what? Who's better on the no.
CP3 is better than Kyrie.
No, it's not.
Definitely. Jason Tatum's better than Kyrie. Giannis is better than Kyrie.
You're there. You're right there. Giannis is better than Kyrie.
Tatum definitely is.
Tatum's not. CP3 isn't.
Boy.
Who put up 39 points today?
Yesterday.
I keep thinking it was today.
30 and 10 for CP3. CP3 gets the job done.
What? No, so who have you got? Milwaukee or Phoenix in the finals? I haven't heard yours.
Phoenix in 7.
Okay. The redemption.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Finals MVP.
Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm. I've got Kevin Durant. And that's it. That's what we think is going to happen in the NBA playoffs. I'm so ready to be wrong. I'm always wrong. And when I mean I'm going to be wrong, I mean the Sixers are going to the finals. And if they go to the finals, remember my sort of vow to myself.
You're going over.
You're
buying.
We'll do this over Zoom, and I'll.
Are you not paying for my ticket as a business expense?
Well, we're not quite there yet, unfortunately. We will. Hopefully next season I'll bring you over. But would you ever contemplate that going to Boston if they made the finals? Surely.
I was tempted a few years ago.
20. I'm thinking, when did they make the finals?
2018 when we made the conference finals. No,
Okay.
2017. What year was it? 2018.
I tallied it all up once, and this is me. I mean, you camp and shit. I don't like camping. This is me being a bit of a princess. It was going to cost me all up for about the 2 weeks, $8,000 Australian. So that's a number for you. 7, maybe 6 minimum. 6 to 8 grand Australian. It would
It
cost
probably
you.
cost me my job as well. So
There's that as well. But there's our playoff brackets. Really confident in that? Really? You can't be really confident.
no, my actual thing is Boston's going to win it all. But, you know, I can't say that on air.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our playoff brackets. It's going to continue. By the time we talk next week, of course, everything will have been exploded and stuff like that.
Philly will be knocked out.
Boston will be knocked out. I was just going to say that. KD will have dropped 4 50-point games. And that's it, JL. Anything else?
Just don't want to talk to you anymore.
All right. Well, again, if you are new to the show, hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell, and hit the 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Enjoy the NBA playoffs, and we'll talk to you next week.